Our next method is delete the fifth element. It is a return type of void, and we are not passing anything in. There's no parameters. This method deletes the fifth node. If there was a sixth node, the fourth node now points to the sixth node. If there was no sixth node, the fourth node becomes the new back node. Now, we do have one other issue here that's not listed. We do need to check for an error. So if there is no fifth node, that's the first thing we need to do is say, hey, there's no fifth node. Because our return type is void, we're just going to return that. We're not going to return anything. We're just going to use the return keyword to return that back to the calling function or method, class or method. So let's go ahead and draw this out. So let's start off with, let's say we don't have a fifth node here, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and just say that there's nothing there. This is null pointer. That's a null pointer. Our count is 4. Make sure that you keep your counts correct. So there is no fifth node. It doesn't exist. My last is actually now pointing here. Last is pointing here. Okay. So this is what we would find. So all we're going to do here is, hey, if the count is less than 5, we're going to say, we're going to send out a response that says there is no fifth node to delete, and we're just going to return. Pretty simple. Okay. Now, let's say that we do have a fifth node. So last is pointing to here. This is not a null pointer. But this is, okay? So we got a null pointer here. We've got 5 in total. So here what we're going to do is we're going to say, hey, if the count is equal to 5, we are going to take the last one and point it over here. We're going to actually delete this first, but here's the problem. We've got to know this node. Got to know what this node is. The only way to do that is to create a temporary node. I'm going to create a temp, and this is a pointer, not a node, a pointer. We're going to create a temporary pointer. It's going to start off with first because we can do that. Once it's pointed to first, we're going to run it probably through a loop. That would be the preferred way to do that. Going to go to the next one, next iteration of the loop. Going to point to the third one. Next iteration of the loop, going to point to the fourth one. So now temp is pointing to our fourth node. Okay? Got to do that first. We can't delete this node until we do that. Now, once we've got that pointing down here, we're going to delete. Use the keyword. We're going to delete last. Then we're going to set last equal to temp. Okay. And then finally, so what we just did is we deleted number 5 here. And then we set last equal to this here. Now, this needs to be null pointer. Okay. So last thing we can do is temp next, or temp link. Temp link is equal to null pointer. Okay. So that's how we're going to do that. Okay, finally, we have more than 5. So this is pointing there, that's pointing there. 5. Our count is greater than 5. In this case, I'm going to say 6. Our last is pointing to our last one. Could be anything greater than then 5. So here, again, we're deleting. By the way, every time we delete, if we delete something, we have to decrement our count. Make sure you do that. Otherwise, all your other functions will have issues if you're using the count. The other way to do this is to not use count at all and simply bounce down. And every time you're bouncing down, check to see if this link is a null pointer. If it's a null pointer, then you stop. That's just another way to do it. I think in another assignment, we force you to do that. So anyway, so we're going to delete this 5th node. So we're going to create a temporary pointer. We're going to bounce it on down the line until it's pointing here. Okay. So with the temporary pointing here, how do we do this? Well, this next, I can't drop this 5. I think I want 2 temporaries. I want a temp4. Matter of fact, I'm going to rename this. I'm going to bounce down. I'm going to say this is a temporary pointer pointing at node 4, and I want another one pointing at node 6. So I create 2 temporary pointers. I bounce them down, and I have one pointing at node 4. I have one pointing at node 6. Now I can simply say node 4 link delete node 4 link. So now I just deleted that. Okay. I didn't lose 6 because 6 I've got here pointing at that. So my next line of code is going to be, hey, node 4 link now points to node 6. And that's it, I think. I just deleted this. I go ahead and decrement my count. Come on. Decrement my count. Node 5 is gone. Node 4 is pointing at node 6. And the rest of this is whatever it is. We didn't change that. So I think that's how we would do that.